and sit a spell, 'cause it's Trinity story time.
About that time, Jesus was teaching at the temple in parables, stories, and the people were listening to him. The Pharisees, men or priests in charge of the temple, were also listening, and they realized the stories were about them and all the wrong they were doing. So they gathered their friends, along with the friends of the emperor, to make a plan to get rid of Jesus. Then they went to Jesus, pretending to be his friend, and said all kind and nice things about his teachings and about him. But Jesus knew right away what they were up to. So when they asked if they should pay taxes to the emperor, he asked to see a coin. Whose head is on this and whose name? They all said the emperor. So give to the emperor, but give to God the things that are his. They went away and left him alone. I wonder if they knew what things were God's. And if they didn't, were they afraid to ask him? I wonder if Jesus would give them a coin with their picture on one side and God's name on the other. You see, we are in God's image and we belong to him, all of us. Trinity Storytime's imaginative biblical storytelling is adapted from the spiritual practice called Lectio Divina, which literally means divine reading. Lectio Divina invites a person to be immersed in the scriptures and join in the retelling of the story. Christian Lectio Divina was introduced by St. Gregory of Nyssa, who lived around 330 to 395 AD, and was encouraged later by St. Benedict of Nursia, who lived between 480 and 547, and is the founder of the Benedictine order. In Lectio Divina, we are invited to reflect and respond to the text through the process of lectio, contemplatio, meditatio, and oratio. Let's dig into the process. Lectio. This is the part where you grab a chair and sit a spell and read the text slowly, plainly, and like a child, perhaps even in multiple translations. Lectio, which is Latin for read. And so you grab your shoes and you listen to a recording while walking. Or you grab your supplies and you write out the passage by hand. You draw it as a cartoon strip. In all of this, however you connect with the text, you're asking these sort of questions. What do you notice? Who is there? What is happening? Where is the scene? And when does the story take place? Hold off on the why and the how for now. But what makes you curious? What questions do you have? Use your 5 senses and imagine yourself in the story. In Lectio, as you read, what do you notice? Contemplatio. Between and throughout the process, it is important to rest. Set it down in between. We ought not to hustle or rush through because we are created in the image and a likeness of a God who rests. So as the jingle goes, grab a chair and sit a spell, contemplating God. Meditatio. Dive deep into the story in order to be formed. Exegete the text, meaning discern its meaning. Read commentaries, listen to podcasts, explore interpretations through the arts, talk, study with one another, engage with a voice or a perspective that is not your own. Notice the emotions, the tensions, and here's the point where you ask questions of why and how, and wrestle with the possibilities. Engage not so that you might know in your mind, but so that you might know and meditate in your heart. What does what you discovered impact you? Oratio. Respond and share the story. Oratio means pray, and prayer is a response to God. So you are invited to be creative because we are created in the image and a likeness of the Creator. So join your response with those of others. Come together, retell the stories from our scriptures. Oratio is when you are invited to join into the Trinity Storytime. And so join us in Trinity Storytime. Join us in the divine reading, the Lectio Divina. Embark in Lectio, Contemplatio, Meditatio, and Oratio, and share your response, your Oratio, with us. Maybe you draw or color some art, or write a poem, or sing or write some music. Maybe you write a reflection, dress up, act it on video, record toys or objects, acting it out, cook or bake something, share or read a story or write a short homily, mold something out of clay, get messy, draw it, sidewalk chalk, whatever it is. Come into the story and then respond to it and start to tell the story. So join us in Trinity Storytime.
Grab a chair and sit a spell, 'cause it's Trinity Storytime.